Okay, this is the last video. It's going to show you how you can make the spine. There's a lot of choices that you can make. For example, what do you want the spine to look like? Do you want it to be a solid color? Do you want to add any features to the spine, any pictures to the spine? Take a look at some of the ones in the collection, any books that you see, and see what you like, figure out how you want it to look. One of the things that I suggest is, instead of what they call reinventing the wheel, instead of doing things over again, work with what you have. For example, you need the title of the book, and then you need at least all you really need is the last name of the person who wrote the book. Both of those things are located on your book cover. Okay. Now, I know in my last video I said to flatten everything, but that's before you attach your spine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to undo when I flattened everything or merged everything together. Okay. Because I'm going to be using some of the stuff that's on this book cover. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to File, New, Blank File, go back to your form, and get the measurement of the spine. The width of the spine is the height of your book. Okay, so this was 6.875. Okay, and the height of the book is how thick the book is, and it was only 0.75. 300 resolution, and say OK. Alright, so that's going to be where your spine is going to be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start borrowing some things from my book cover. For one thing, I'm going to borrow that piece of the background. So I'm going to take that layer and I'm going to drag that down there. Now, it's obviously going to be facing a different way, so I want to make sure that I rotate it. You're going to be reading this from left to right, so the top is going to be on the left-hand side. So when I rotate this, I'm rotating it to the left. Okay, I can fit this in place. I can stretch it out. Keep the apex of that mount in the middle. Okay. So it could be something like that. Now, I mean, you can even just put a solid color in. If you just wanted to dump a solid in there, you can certainly do that. If you want to put a gradient in, that's fine too. Personally, I like putting something in the background. So I'm going to go back to the book cover again. And this time, put layer 7 in the garbage. This time I'm going to take the lettering and I'm going to bring that over to the photo, to the spine. Okay. And the problem with this is I had to resize it. It's also on 2 lines, so I'm going to have to fix that. So I can go back to the text tool because it's still a text layer. Notice it still keeps the font style and the layer style and everything. So I can just fit this into place. I can size it up. I need to allow for room for the author's name. Keep that in mind. Okay. And both were young. Go all the way to the top like that. You don't want to cut off anything like the G down there. Alright, now I'm going to go get the author's last name. Now the problem with the author's last name, it had a comma in it. And so what I had to do is I had to make a little piece of another font. And that's right here. See, it's going away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify this particular layer. And I'm also going to simplify this layer as well, so you can see now they're like normal layers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to join these two together. Merge layers. Okay. And it's that layer that I'm going to bring on over to the spine. Here again, I only need the last name. Okay, let me go back to that for a second because I know I moved some things around, so I'm going to move that back into place. So, getting back to the spine. It's in there somewhere. Put it in front of everything so you can see it. Alright, I'm going to make that invisible for the time being. All I need is the L-E-N, lingual. Okay, so everything else I'm going to get rid of. So I can literally just use this marquee tool, hit delete, and that's that. And I could bring this guy over here, just like that. It's at that point if I want to change anything, such as the size and all that. Let's see how that looks there. Okay, so I'm definitely going to have to make that smaller. Sometimes people will even go ahead and rotate this. You can even do something like that, especially if it's a short name. Rotate layer to the left 90 degrees. So you can put it like that. Okay, but it's not going to fit, so I'm not going to do that. It's just fine like that. Now if I wanted to increase any layer styles and stuff, I can reapply them, of course. But I think that looks good. I'm going to flatten this. I'm going to merge all layers. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go back to the book cover. And I reserved a spot, well, before I did everything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten everything. Merge visible. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and, as I did before, I'm going to go to canvas size and I'm increasing the width. I'm increasing it 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to anchor the existing image to the right so the expansion happens on the left. And then it's just a matter of bringing this like that. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees to the right, and you can see it's too small, but I can certainly just use the corner and it will be the right size. There we go. Just going to check it up and down. That's good. And that is a done piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge everything, and then this is what you're going to send in. Okay, you're going to save it as a JPEG, and then you're going to submit it to me, and then I can get it printed out. Alright, and that's a done deal. Hopefully you'll find this to be an enjoyable experience, and I'll be around if you have any questions. Good luck.